Times change, and so must we. Yeah, times keep changing, but there are so many people out there that's not willing to change with them times, and they get so far behind in everything they try to do. One thing I've learned to keep you moving forward is go for your goals that you have in life. Something that will advance you each and every day. What used to work back 3 or 4 years ago may not work now. Just little things when I was younger that I used to set out to accomplish. Just little things. It's like my next door neighbor had a moped. We used to ride around the block. I used to ride my dirt bike, and she would ride that moped around and around and around. And I was not able to keep up. She always joking, like, come on, you slow back there. And that went on for a few years, to the point where I know that I can keep up. I just had to figure out how. I got from a dirt bike and went up to a 10 speed. And I rode that thing every day, working up, building up my legs, to the point where 3 years after I got it, during the summer, not only was I able to keep up with that moped doing 25, 30 miles per hour, I was actually able to pass it. And then my brother got a 12 speed. That just helped me out a little bit more when he left it at mom and daddy's house. That moped had more takeoff than I did. But before we got back around that block, which was almost, I forgot how far that thing was. It seemed like a mile. Don't know if it was or not, but it felt like it. But it got to the point where I was able to make that loop on a bicycle faster than she can drive that moped. I was determined to turn the tables. And she could not catch up with me. Now, of course, eventually, after about 6, 7 rounds on that block, yeah, I got worn out. She still had gas. But you can accomplish anything that you set your mind to. You just have to sit down and figure out how you're going to accomplish it and set out and make it happen. We don't live forever. But if you want to be remembered after you are gone, build something that will outlive you. It's just like the internet that I put together, different parks. People are going to remember that they didn't have any internet, and big companies were not willing to go in there and put internet for a reasonable price in most cases. And I was able to go in there within less than a month and started getting people internet. They're going to remember that if they're still here after I'm no longer here. Or their relatives that takes over their RV or whatever it may be will remember it and be able to still use it. And as we get older, we have to face the reality that time that we have left is shorter than it was before. When we were, teenagers and 20 years old and 30 years old, we thought we had another 30, 40 years left. Well, I'm going to be 60 next year. I don't have them luxuries of thinking that I'm going to be, another 30, 40, 50 years. I may never know what kind of miracle drug or whatever comes into play that prolongs your life even longer, in the next 10, 20 years. But you have to plan according to what is normal. And normal life, age to be expected, the expected average life of a male in the United States, the study of 2023 says that was 78.39 years old. 78 years old is what the average. Well, I'm 60. That means I got less than 20 on average. And I start looking for symptoms when I was like 40 years old. That's the way I do things is not wait the last minute to try to figure something out that I know that's going to come about. So I started monitoring myself. I knew at that time in my 40s, mid 40s, when I was still doing heat and air, I usually get maybe 3 real bad headaches a year. Usually 2 of them were in the summer when I was just out in the sun too long. And when I say real bad headache, it's the kind that I can take aspirin or whatever and it just does not make it go away by itself. I have to lay down to get rid of it. 3 at the most for the whole year. Well, I noticed in the last 3 years that I'm getting 4 or 5 a year. And I'm not out really in the sun or the heat like I was when I was doing heating and air. Now, of course, I'm doing the internet, but you can see my channel that I'm not putting up too many videos because I'm not really doing that much. And it's really not that hot because I do it early in the morning and late in the afternoon. Times change. So do we have to change to adapt to our new age. I change things that will give me headaches. The research that I've done, I look at what I eat, I look at what I drink, good old coffee. I even, yes, I'm still going to drink my coffee, but it's decaf now. Not giving up my coffee. I have to be more cautious of what kind of food I eat, the sodium, the salt, fried food, how much portions of each meal I actually eat. I eat smaller portions. I still don't eat breakfast. I really never have. I never found anything that agreed to my stomach early in the morning. It didn't matter what I ate. I can eat eggs and bacon and grits and some toast and drink some orange juice. It'll go right through me within the hour. I thought it was the fried food. It got down to the point where I was eating toast with a little bit of butter on it and a cup of coffee. Didn't matter. Eat a bowl of cereal. Don't matter what kind it was. The only thing I found that I can have in the morning is liquid. I can drink orange juice, apple juice, and coffee, and coffee, and coffee. And after I realized trying different things in the morning, and it just didn't agree with me, I decided not to eat breakfast. And that I was in my 20s when I decided to do that. And after about 3 weeks, I felt a lot better not eating breakfast. I feel more energized. I didn't feel like I've been run over by a Mack truck. I had more energy throughout the whole day. Times change. So must we. And now I catch myself every now and then, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, regardless if I've been doing anything excessively of heavy labor or not, I want to lay down and take a nap for an hour. I used to refuse to do that because I just want to keep going. And after about 3 months, I'm like, my body's changed. I need to adapt to that. My body's getting tired for a reason. It's changed. So I need to take care of it. So I started laying down in the afternoon. And I'm glad I did because I feel so much better when I actually wake up, full of energy, ready to go, and still getting 7, 8 hours of sleep with no problem. Still waking up between 5 and 5:30 in the morning, regardless if the alarm goes off or not. The alarm is set at 5:30. I can set it for 5:45, and I'm going to be laying there with my eyes open, waiting for it to go off. So I decided just to set it at 5:30, and sometimes I'll reach over and turn it off anyway, before it even has a chance to go off. That's something I've always done, is woken up somewhere between 5 and 5:30. I don't know why, but that's just built-in time clock, I guess. But since I've gotten headaches, I had to figure out exactly what's causing it. Is it the food I'm eating? Is it my coffee that I was drinking? Too much sugar, too much sodium, whatever that I thought that would cause the headaches. And I started checking my blood pressure. I've noticed it has been elevated just slight, more than it should be. I think it's what 120/80 is what it should be. With them numbers, both of them numbers are up just a little bit, which is not uncommon in the age that I am, but it's something to be not alarmed about, but to keep an eye on to see why is it, so I can actually take care of it before it actually does any damage or gets even worse. And the reason why I started checking it is because when I got a checkup like 2 years ago, that's the first thing they do is check your blood pressure. They said, "Do you have high blood pressure issues?" No, I haven't been diagnosed of it. They always walk out of the room and come back about 15 minutes, check it again. Oh, that's better. I thought it's because I've been active and I just walked into the room and just sat down and hadn't been there long enough to relax. Well, they done that when I got a checkup. They done that when I got food poisoning. I forgot how many years ago that was, and I think it was like five years ago. And then when I had my back surgery not too long ago, they did the exact same thing. They come in as soon as I said, not even 2 minutes. They said, "Well, I'll come back in and check it." They always do that. They always check it. It will go out and come back in and check it. And they always say, "Okay, it's good now." I really didn't think of anything about it. But in the last 8 years, that was becoming more common. Times changed. So is the body. So must we. So I got a blood pressure cuff checker, and I checked it and tried different things, switching to decaf, eat less sodium and salt and stuff like that, sweets and all that good stuff, to see if I can pinpoint what is causing it. And I'm going to do that for the rest of this month and see if I can pinpoint what it is, or see if I can get it to de-escalate itself a little bit. It's nowhere near critical whatsoever, according to the numbers and the research I've found. It's just elevated just a little bit. With my age, they said that's normal. That might not even be any concern, but it is to me. I want to keep it as normal as possible. Another thing that really makes your blood pressure go up is stress. I have cut out a lot of stress that I've had in my life for years. And as I get older, the amount of stress I had back then affects me more now because I'm older, because my body can't take it as well as it used to. I may not increase the stress from then till now, but my body cannot take as much as it used to deal with it. So it made it actually worse. So I found and sat there and thought about what is stressing me out. And I said, it's A, B, C, and D, or whatever it may have been. I said, I'm going to cut them out and see if that makes a difference. Times change, so must we. We can't keep going as we used to. Some people try. Some people don't make it because they ignore their body change over time. You have to know your limits. I used to try to do things for everyone that I came in contact with. Try to help them out every possible way. I really didn't consider my own health, my well-being. I always give, and help everybody, regardless what it may or may not been doing to myself physically. Times have changed. So must I. And I have to cut out certain kind of foods that I eat, certain kind of drinks that I have or used to drink. I used to drink maybe like a six pack and a half of sodas, maybe one soda a month, a little 12 ounce soda per month. And usually it was Mellow Yellow because I like the orange flavor that it had in it. I'm cutting them out. It's going to be coffee, decaf. I'm still using creamer, but it's low fat creamer. And if I have to, I'll just go to plain milk and go to 2% or 1% or half and half, whichever one I find by research of which is the best one to have. And see if I can get these numbers to go back down. And see if that's actually attributing to my headaches or not. Is it the stress, or is it the coffee? Was it the food? Was it the salt? Was it the sodium? What was it that's causing me having extra headaches? Or was it just a crap load of stress that things and people were putting on me that I take for granted of what it was doing to me because I was just trying to help them so much. Sometimes you just have to, like I said in many of my videos, sometimes you just have to learn to say no. It may piss some people off. You may lose some friends. You may have to distance yourself from people. And some people may be so toxic that it's so much stress that you just have to cut them out of your life 100%. Something else that I need to do more as well is get more exercise, do some more walking. So I will be out in nature just like this back here behind me, making videos. Something I love doing. I just haven't been making videos like I really love to, because I've been dedicating myself to help everybody else. Well, that is not going to change. That has changed as of yesterday. And I can care less what other people say. I know it may piss some people off, but I really don't care. I have to be selfish so I can be here as long as I can. That's just life. I can run myself ragged for everybody else and be sure everybody else has a good life. But what about me? It's like I used to talk myself out of buying things because I was pitching every penny to save and save and save. But here I am now, I'm retired. I don't need to save anymore. I need to take that savings and enjoy my life. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to travel more. I'm going to get out in nature more. I'm going to try to put up some kind of content each and every day. And if you hadn't done already, consider getting my book. It's a good read. I've had quite a few people contact me through email thanking me for putting it actually on paper. Me telling it is one thing, but them actually reading it, they can read it over and over and get something out of it each time they read it, something new. Life can change, and so must we. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Consider liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And I will see you in the next video. Take care. Live long. Take care of yourself. Other people need to take care of themselves. If they got themselves in a mix of chaos, they're going to have to get themselves out of it. You got your own life to live. Enjoy it. I know I'm going to.